White House Down is the new film from acclaimed director Roland Emmerich, the cinematic genius behind such films as The Patriot, Independence Day, Godzilla, The Day After Tomorrow, and 2012, one of my personal favorites. In this film, Magic Mike and Jamie Foxx pretend to be characters in a movie that is about as plausible as a Roland Emmerich film. Jamie Foxx plays President James Washington, the President of the United States. The White House gets blowed up, and Magic Mike protects him by shooting the bad guys with his gun. Also, his little daughter is in danger, and he wants to prove that he's a good father. Has this plot been done before? I don't think so. Thanks, Roland Emmerich. I hope someone shoves a club up your ass. So, Jay, let's talk about the plot to this movie.
Okay.
And let's talk about the politics of this plot. Who are the villains in this movie?
Old white men.
That's right.
Because we don't want to offend anybody, so old white men you're safe with. Even though it creates a complete lack of interest in anything that's happening when every villain in every movie is an old white guy now.
Crazed right-wing nutjobs who go as far up as the Speaker of the House have a dastardly plan, and he has a magical treaty that will create world peace.
Oh yeah, just like that.
It's He met with the president of Iran and shook his hand, and the president of Iran said, let's sign a magic peace treaty that will create world peace. And the crazed right-wingers don't want that because the military-industrial complex, which makes billions of dollars off war, will lose money. So the Speaker of the House is willing to nuke the White House and create a nuclear war and blow up all of the Middle East to keep money flowing into the military-industrial complex.
Yes.
Which is completely plausible.
But I was with the movie at this point.
Yeah.
Still.
Someone says, write a script about Die Hard and the White House. You go, okay. Well, you have to have the down on his luck security guard who gets caught up in everything, a la John McClane. You have to, and then you have to have a really good reason for someone to try to take over the White House, terrorists or whoever.
Yeah.
No one in their right mind is going to try to pull that off for a bunch of money, like Hans Gruber.
Right.
Some random building in Los Angeles, maybe. The White House, no. Second you get in, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're not going to get out of there alive. So you have to have a really good reason. You have to be a crazy person who wants to try to get nuclear launch codes to blow up the world because you're nuts. And if you're that nuts, no one's going to follow you. That's why I was just scratching my head going, all these guys, I guess they labeled them as racists and home militant nut jobs that love the Ku Klux Klan and hate the president. So that's why they would do that. But really, I say, I'm going to go hire a bunch of military guys to come help me. What's the job? Well, it pays really well. What's the job? We're going to storm the White House. But you're going to get paid really well once they give us our ransom and let us walk away.
All I remember, speaking of them being fucked, is one of the secondary bad guys shoots and kills somebody, and the little daughter says, "You're going to jail for that." And I was thinking, for that?
So you have James Woods, who's crazy, and a bunch of other crazy guys, and then.
Well, he has a brain tumor too.
He has a brain tumor, which is pressing on his frontal cortex, which is making him do irrational things, but also smart enough to pull off a job like this. And then the computer genius guy is also a little off. So a rational computer genius guy would go, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not that dumb. The most inept, insane people in the world are able to take over the White House. And
the only hook that it has is you're seeing the White House be destroyed. That's pretty much it. You might as well not even have a plot. Just show that.
Is it disaster porn?
It's disaster porn. It's all of Roland Emmerich's movies are like that.
Yeah.
He loves seeing the White House be destroyed so much that he's going to give himself a little pat on the back in this movie about the fact that he's done it before. They have a reference to Independence Day in this movie.
I think the FBI should come knocking on his door.
He might be up to something.
We have some questions about the films you're making.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
8 men rode into canyons. I dug 7 graves. The men you seek think you are dead. Better to stay that way.
You want me to wear a mask?
Justice is what a man must take for himself.
The Lone Ranger is the new film from a bunch of people who got together and said, let's make an old idea new again, put Johnny Depp in it, and laugh all the way to the bank. These people are now unemployed. The film stars Arm & Hammer as the Lone Ranger, and Johnny Depp as another one of his eccentric characters who wears a stupid hat. So, Mike, what did you think of the Lone Ranger?
Yeah. I fell asleep during it, actually, during several segments.
Really?
I did. So every time he said Wendigo, I kept thinking of one of my favorite films of all time, Bound by Blood, Wendigo.
The warning was the potential of being possessed by an evil spirit. The Wendigo, it was called. Once possessed, the human host would supposedly become violent and obsessed with eating flesh.
Which is a wonderful film released by Killer Wolf Films.
Oh yes, director Len Kabasinski, who is my favorite filmmaker.
You've done a good job here for the most part.
I did what you told me to.
You're right, you have. I don't believe involving the local authorities was part of our deal, though.
Yes, of also my favorite filmmaker.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Len Kabasinski Jr.
Well, sir, we're just going to have to ask you to.
He's the one that's gonna rescue you, Black Cougar. He's got the power and he's got the moves.
It's a big and bold change of focus in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Panther pushes past many of the cliched plot devices, archetypes, and formulas of standard comic book blockbusters. This film is a giant middle finger to all things authoritarian. It's taken a decade and 18 films, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe has finally produced a superhero movie that feels like it was ripped from the pages of a comic book. After 18 films, finally they did it! Black Panther is one of the best superhero movies of the century. And we're only 18 years in, folks! They will write about this movie and make videos about it. It will be discussed among friends of all ages, all races, all shapes and sizes. It will be taught in school, debated among intellectuals. It will be seen as the moment everything changed.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Do you want to go watch Black Cougar?
Yes. I'll put it on the screen. blackcougar.com.
Oh yeah, remember to go to blackcougar.com.
The official website of the film.
The official website for the film that's a superhero film for children.
It says, it on the case.
Yeah.
It's blackcougar.com, and he continually paid for that domain.
Yeah.
Thinking eventually this will take off. It's not like he let the domain lapse.
Right.
So don't expect that. blackcougar.com.
Thanos Part 2 chronicles the further adventures of Thanos, a purple nutsack man that tried to do the universe a favor by wiping out half of the population. Some ingrates in silly costumes tried to stop him for some reason. What a bunch of assholes.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Bring on the mass genocide, Daddy Thanos. All we're doing with our time here anyway is posting pictures of tacos and shit on Instagram.
So the Star Trek Voyager series finale opens on the USS Voyager landing on Earth. And as we all know, the entire series has been the ship trapped in the Delta Quadrant trying to get back home, which would take about 60 or 70 years. 60,000 space miles. But at the end, it's in the future. It took them 23 years to get home. And then we flash forward 10 years after that. They get home, but at a great cost. Along the way, sometimes 7 of 9 dies. Chakotay dies of a broken heart. Captain Janeway stands over his grave and says, "I'll avenge you."
But when I'm through, things might be better for all of us.
Tuvok had a mental condition which he was unable to treat all those years in the Delta Quadrant because he didn't have the proper medicine, which was back on Earth. So he gets the Vulcan equivalent of Alzheimer's.
Oh my God.
And he's insane. And so Captain Janeway is very dissatisfied with how things have turned out.
Are you familiar with a drug called cronexylene?
We've been testing it at Starfleet Medical to determine if it can protect biomatter from tachyon radiation.
She seeks out the doctor to give her an experimental medication which will allow her to time travel. She discovers a brilliant Klingon scientist who has built a time travel machine. In the past, the Voyager crew discovered a cluster of wormholes.
There appear to be hundreds of distinct sources.
That was in the hub of a bunch of Borg ships. It was like a nest, a Borg hub, and there are millions of wormholes that the Borg used to shoot all over the galaxy. And so in the future, after all these people had died and Janeway had this kind of like, oh, this future sucks, I want to go back in time and fix it, she steals the Klingons' time travel device.
This will do just fine.
Uses the PIM molecule to protect her from time travel, and then travels back in time and tells her younger self, look, I'm going to armor up the ship with future technology that will make you impervious to the Borg. Then you could take this ship and fly through that wormhole and get everybody home 23 years earlier, and all these people don't have to die. And then younger Captain Janeway's like, no.
Well, I'm still me, and this is still my ship. So no more talk about what's going to happen until I decide otherwise.
I'm younger, more moral Captain Janeway, and older, more bitter, more cynical Captain Janeway kind of expected her to do that. So she double crosses her and sacrifices herself to the evil Borg Queen and says, look, we can have our cake and eat it too. You guys fly through the wormhole and I'll blow up the fucking Borg hub so that the evil Borg Queen can't get it, just like Thanos can't get that Infinity Gauntlet. Their plan works. Captain Janeway and everybody return, shoot. They fly into Earth in a giant exploding Borg cube to a fleet of starships that come to meet them to fight the Borg, just like all the superheroes came and fought the Thanos and all these bad guys. And the name of this final episode of Star Trek Voyager?
Endgame?
Endgame.
Is it actually? That's pretty fucking amazing.
Jay, am I suggesting this was plagiarized by the Duffer Brothers? I mean,
the Duffer Brothers.
I mean the writers of Star Trek Discovery. I mean the Russo brothers.
Wait, did you mention Star Trek Discovery?
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal.
The newest Avengers movie is here. This one is called Infinity War. The jokes about the movie being really long practically write themselves. Look out, Avengers! Thanos is coming! The villain we've been told we're supposed to be anticipating for the last 10 years, despite never being given any reason to do so. But he's here! And he's going to destroy half the galaxy with his magical golden oven mitt. Can the Avengers stop him? You'll just have to see the movie and then wait another year to see the next movie to find out.
One thing I kept thinking, I was like, I want to see, and this is not an example of my expectations being subverted, but they got it out of the way right off the bat. I was like, I wonder who's going to win, Hulk or Thanos? And then 2 seconds into the film, Hulk fights Thanos. I was like, all right, that's out of the way. And now I don't know what to expect.
So you're saying it subverted your expectations in a way that was satisfying and kept you wondering what was going to happen next?
Well, I think the concept of a purple, bald spaceman who's all-powerful coming to Earth, if handled by another film company, would be, I'm man, and everyone attacks him. Yeah. But this found many different ways to have all these different clever set pieces all over the place going on that all work towards the goal of punching man. Man barely got punched. Like Thor having to hold open this gate while solar energy went through him so that he could power a smelting broom run by a gigantic Peter Dinklage dwarf. I mean, it's like crazy shit was going on.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Thanos, let's talk about him, the breakout star of this film.
Yeah.
purple monster from space.
It looks like a big purple nutsack.
And I hate to do this, but this whole movie was ripped off from an episode of Star Trek. And Rich will know it. I was thinking about it during the movie.
Which one?
When Thanos was explaining his backstory.
Oh, this is the TOS show where they wanted Kirk to get that one girl sick so she would infect all the other people on her planet that was insanely overcrowded? Or are you thinking of a different Star Trek episode?
I'm thinking of a different Star Trek episode.
Oh my God, which one are you thinking of?
Season 1, Conscience of the King. Because Thanos is explaining his backstory, and Kirk, when he was a young man, lived on a colony, and the colony like ran out of food or something, and then the leader of the colony, who was kind of like a psychopath, said, "We're not going to get supplies, we're all going to die."
The revolution is successful, but survival depends on drastic measures.
How about we kill off half of you? And I'm going to do it at random.
You're a man of decision, Captain. You ought to understand that.
All I understand is that 4,000 people were needlessly butchered.
In order to save 4,000 others.
And that villain's name? Kodos.
Oh.
That's great, but it's a similar premise, similar backstory. But I think that's what I liked about Thanos was he's not Steppenwolf. I'm bad, and I'm going to invade your galaxy. That's what I thought it was.
I will stop the Justice League because they are the good guys.
Thanos is not bad guy who just wants to destroy half the universe because.
I want unlimited power!
Yeah. He's a psychopath, and he has some twisted logic.
He thinks he's the good guy. He thinks he's doing good for humanity, and I like the fact that the people he kills, it is completely random.
Yes.
Once you get the Infinity Gauntlet, though, can't you just will there to be infinite resources for all of the people?
Well...
And then you can lower the birth rate.
Can make everybody sterile?
You can make, yeah.
Condoms for all.
Everyone lives forever. There's unlimited food. So it breaks down a little bit if you really want to examine it.
That's like the no fun police.
Yeah, that's true. That's you're overthinking it too much.
It's like trying to overthink like the mechanics of a time travel movie. Yeah. It's like, but then you have no movie.
Yeah.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Why was Red Skull there?
It was fun. I don't care.
I mean, it was. I think. How did he die? I haven't seen that Captain America movie since the theater.
Didn't the Tesseract just suck him into nowhere?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was more of like, who can we bring back that people will be surprised by? Because nobody's thought about the Red Skull since that first movie. Nobody cares.
Well, if we're going to talk about wrapping up this chapter of the Marvel Cinematic, like right back to where we started, Red Skull was there at the beginning.
That's true.
He's there at the ending now.
Yeah.
I saw it as kind of that.
I was just wondering what he does up on that mountain. When he's just waiting for someone to show up.
That's all he does. That's literally all he does.
It was weird to be nostalgic for a movie that I didn't particularly care for. He shows up and you're like, oh, it's the Red Skull from that Captain America movie.
I thought it was Skeletor. I didn't know who it was.
I'll be back.
I was
They're introducing the He-Man universe into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mike, it was a Nazi. It was a Nazi.
Which is ironic, because when he showed up in this movie, I said, I did not see that coming. I'm so sorry.
That was great.
Is that a joke?
That's one of those jokes, yeah.
What? I don't get it. Explain the joke to me.
Hail Hydra.
So, Rich, would you recommend...
His name is Evan.
So, Richard...
Evan Richards.
So, Evan Richards, would you recommend...
Yes.
The movie? Okay.
Yes, I would. It works surprisingly well for a movie starring 40 characters.
Yeah.
I would recommend this movie, Thanos Man, whatever it was called. It was just lovely. I'm a Marvel shill fanboy. I thought, like Rich said, 500 characters. They're all fun and interesting and unique, and they're all working together. And there's 6, 7, 8 different fun set pieces, and you don't get bored.
They were smart enough to compartmentalize the characters.
Yes, it's like a tackle box of Marvel fun.
Truly, the tales and songs fall utterly short of your enormity. O Smaug, the stupendous.
We are the dwarves of Erebor. We have come to reclaim our homeland.
The Hobbit, The Desolation of the Smog, is the second part of a new trilogy of Middle-earth films from the original Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson. In this film, a dwarf named Thorin has to retrieve the Arc Stone from an evil fire-breathing dragon named Smog. Another dwarf named Keely is falling for an elf named Kate from Lost. But the archer elf Legolas also has feelings for Kate from Lost. Meanwhile, Gandalf must separate from the pack of dwarfs to figure out the mystery of the necromancer. There's also a hobbit in there somewhere who mostly just stands around and watches things happen.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Thorin, you gave a promise.
You brought upon them only ruin and death.
You've won the mountain, is that not enough?
Peter Jackson's The Hobbit series is back, but sadly the Denny's Hobbit menu is not.
I wanted to fill my Hobbit hole.
In this third installment, called The Battle of the Five Armies, 4 armies fight each other to get into a mountain filled with gold. A bunch of strange things happen involving ghosts and laser beams. Then there is a bunch of fighting, and then there isn't. Frodo Baggins then returns to the Shire, the only place in the world he feels safe and at home, only to find out that his neighbors have declared him dead and robbed him. Got my Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies cup.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm making a gin and tonic. You ready to talk about the Hobbits? I had no idea what was happening the whole time. And I am to blame for that, partially, because I accept some blame. Because, you know, there's Lord of the Rings fans out there that are like, ooh, you know, and really, like, I watched the other 2 movies once, didn't pay the closest of attention. I could have rewatched the second one, the first one. I could have familiarized myself a little more with what was happening. I know the movie is supposed to do that for you, but still, I accept some of the blame because I have no idea what's happening. What's her face shows up.
Kate from Lost?
No, Kate Blanchett shows up.
Kate Blanchett from Lost.
And then Christopher Lee's there, and I'm like, I thought he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of ghosts, and they're fighting ghosts, and then the devil comes through the sky, and Kate Blanchett turns into a 1980s video game, and she has some
that was
sort
the
of...
best part of the movie.
That was a pretty awesome part, but I'm just like...
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea what's going on. And then I'm watching, and I was like, oh yeah, there's dwarves in this.
Yes, yeah.
And Gandalf is in a metal cage hanging off a cliff. And I'm like, I don't
remember him ending up there.
I don't remember how I got there. I remember there was a mountain, and I remember Smog.
Oh, well, how can you forget Smaug?
It's hard to forget Smog, and it's hard to forget that Smog was breathing fire onto the lake city. Yeah. And he was, it's like that was a big cliffhanger. Smog's gonna fuck everything up. And I knew that the bard was gonna shoot a black arrow and kill the Smog.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
What? It's night? What?
What?
It got dark.
While they were in the stairwell, it got dark.
Yeah.
She said, "You want to make love? I want to see Thomas howl."
That was a good joke. I like that one.
It was more embarrassing.
Hey.
Jesus! Is that his boner?
Hey!
Oh my God! It's a portal to hell! Oh my God!
That was a
wow! That was a convoluted series of events.
Oh, why would you just do that? Why?
This is the best movie ever.
As you want.
Is he bathing in piss?
Oh no!
He peed in the bathtub.
Why is that bathtub full
of piss? Gross!
Oh God! He's like a pee fetishist.
Yeah. Come on, fuck me in this piss.
I'm gonna show you my gratitude.
No. What are you gonna do? What? No! 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 No!
Wow.
Oh.
He disappeared.
That's kind of cute.
Oh, I'm glad the movie won you over, Rich.
There's two cops and a little kid in the back seat.
Jeez, Dale, your kid's in the back.
You don't mind, do you, Mark?
No, I know about women.
Oh, is that so? Yeah, he knows about women. This guy's a little dumb one.
Ah, he doesn't even have a schlong yet.
And then the cops say, "Hey, look at those minorities standing on the pier. They may or may not, but most likely may be drug dealers."
Well, there's one guy that's just clearly a PA that somebody gave a long, like, leopard print trench coat to.
Yeah. One was dressed like a pimp. Anyway, so he comes out and he goes, "You can't sell drugs here on this pier." And then they get into a confrontation. And then a 30-minute long wacky chase sequence occurs on the pier.
If by wacky you mean awesome.
Whoa!
Jesus!
This is wow!
So many people are getting hit by that car.
How did they get there through all of this shit?
How long is this pier?
It's not really a pier, it's just a circle.
It never
Apparently.
ends.
This pier just keeps going.
It's the transcontinental pier.
It's kind of like the Mall of America, where it's like, it's really big, but it's the same 3 stores over and over.
Yeah.
Because there's just endless popcorn stands.
Yeah.
Those Beanie Babies are just flying everywhere.
What?
Oh my God, what an adventure.
No.
Oh my goodness!
This is amazing.
I was getting Blues Brothers vibes.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's a cop car driving through a mall.
Yeah.
The people on the end of the pier with the folding tables had about 25 minutes to get out of the way.
Those cars way down there, they're heading this direction.
Looks
Let's
like
move.
it's just driving through everyone and everything. Cop dad gets on a motorcycle and leaps onto the car because the kid's still in the back seat.
He pops so many wheelies before that. Just popping all the wheelies.
How often do you get into a high-speed car chase on a bike? You have to pop the wheelie.
But the chase ends with the cop car going off the edge of the pier into the water.
Apparently the guy's not in there anymore.
Yeah, where'd he go?
I don't know.
He dissolved when he hit the water.
Oh no, he's soluble. It's hard to run a crime syndicate when all your men are made out of salt.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Don't turn around, just give me your purse, or I'm gonna cut you.
Oh
no!
That guy!
That guy got stabbed!
No, run!
Just chase
out. Fucking idiots.
We got a helicopter going. We're fine.
The fuck did they get here?
They ran.
Up on a roof?
Are they on a roof?
I don't know. This doesn't look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on a bridge?
Where the fuck are they?
They're in cool chase land.
Like a pier that just keeps going back into itself?
It's like a nightmare world.
How the fuck did they get up there?
Yeah, he definitely somewhat accidentally hangs some dudes from some cables.
Oh my god, this is grotesque.
This is amazing.
That's what you get for trying to rob someone.
And beats the shit out of some child pornographers in the mall before any charges have been brought.
It's a free country. I'll take pictures of whoever I want. Fuck off.
Jesus.
6 years old, naked motherfucker.
Oh, God. Where did this come from?
They're investigating child pornography?
Jesus Christ. Just handcuff him.
Nope. Can you stop getting blood all over my merchandise, officer?
Jesus Christ!
But the main thing that happens when he joins Justice Incorporated is that he becomes invincible.
Oh, shit.
Why don't you just get out of the way and let him jump out the window?
Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away
Now
from me!
you're gonna have a burning man falling on top of you.
Oh, he got he got out of the van before he landed.
He leaps out of a 20-story building, lands on top of a van, busts through the van,
while another guy that's on fire is falling right behind him.
and is able to not only recover from crashing on a van, which would probably take a couple
Crashing
seconds.
through a van?
Yeah. And like, oh God, what? Oh. He's able to get out of the van before the guy lands into it. Not a scratch on his body.
Which is super lucky because once the flaming man falls into the van, then the van explodes.
Well, that's what happens. Whenever a flame goes anywhere near a vehicle, the vehicle just immediately explodes into a fireball.
Yeah! Here come the explosions.
Nice.
Yeah!
Yeah! It's like a nightmare world.
Pull over your fucking truck! All of your canisters!
How many canisters are on there?
Pull over!
Jesus Christ!
Somebody's gonna call the 1-800 number in the back.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
But he's just like a tubby guy in a black tank top that awkwardly wields a sword.
A mild-mannered tax accountant by day, an action star by day for night.
Damn!
Worth it!
Of the show!
Worth it!
Nailed it!
You did it, Mike. You overcame your earlier attempts at joking the show.
You hit it. You hit it!
I failed with my Milli Vanilli tweet joke.
Oh my God, it's Milli Vanilli. You don't keep up with Milli Vanilli.
No. If I'm gonna buy it, I gotta
follow them on Twitter.
No.
I followed them on Twitter, but then I found out it was a fake account.
You gotta smile. That got the not quite the joke of the episode.
Yeah, is there a swing and a miss award?
The participation award.
It wasn't clever. It's too clever. It wasn't a home run, but it was a solid bunt.
Okay. First base down the line.
You got that bunt down.
Okay, good.
Down the foul line.
Steve Barquette is a cop. He goes to the Satanic warehouse.
Where there's a miniature hole in the wall that he awkwardly jumps through.
He does a nice little action jump into the other realm.
It's a portal to hell.
Which is full of beautiful matte paintings and miniatures and all sorts of really cool shit.
And this great bridge.
Oh, that bridge.
You better get used to that fucking bridge.
Can we say supercut?
You can't because it's the actual same shots. It'll just look like he used the same shot.
Yeah, it'll just be like 15 minutes of this one shot.
So dumb.
And that fucking shot of the bridge.
Why do they keep going back?
Oh, because that's why.
Oh.
Wait a minute!
The bridge is back. There's multiple bridges.
No!
Is that supposed to be a different bridge?
Yes, it has to be.
That was, but it was the same bridge.
It was the
It
same
really
bridge.
looked like the same
I
bridge.
think the idea is that there's bridges all over.
Oh no!
All these bridges, you thought it was one bridge? It's many bridges.
It was clearly set up to break at that one point.
Yeah.
And it's been like that the whole movie.
That's just the way they construct all their bridges in hell. But Richard Harrison is in charge of this ritual.
Yeah, he's the
Richard
cult.
Harrison, who is Blood Debts,
Yes.
most commonly known to everybody as Blood Debts.
So he gets across the multiple bridges and stops this sacrifice, kind of. He's only got one bullet left.
He has to choose between his lady love or the baby.
Oh, no, don't drop the baby. Don't drop the baby into the hot lava. Just stand there. The bridge is only going to get more and more secure.
And then a wonderful miniature puppet pops up.
I guess that's Satan.
Sure.
The movie never really makes clear if that's Satan, though, does it?
Yes, that's totally Satan.
It's a demon. I don't know that it's specifically Satan.
Why wouldn't you think that's Satan?
The hierarchy of demons and giant monsters in hell is unknown to us.
That's true. It's expanded on more in the novel that this film is based on.
I am not saying it is 100% certainly Satan, but I'm saying there's no reason to think it isn't.
Well, there's a reason to think that it's not. Yes, there is.
Okay.
Because I think Satan might have better things to do than to just kill a couple of teenagers in a tiny car. Right?
Yeah.
It's adorable! Oh my god!
Satan's loose!
Oh, my baby! My baby! Please, someone save my baby!
The son, who is not a cop,
He's the one who takes the action.
he's the one who risks the life of the little girl.
If any more kids are gonna die, it stops here, Stover! Stay back!
Bagels!
He missed with the stupid bagels!
It was just a distraction.
It was a distraction. That guy could have just been like shocked and shot the little girl in the head.
Yeah.
It was a calculated risk.
I
It was just the life of a little girl.
I didn't want to kill her, but the fuckers threw bagels at me. What more can I do?
All for baloney.
All right, so Steve Barquette has a girlfriend or wife or somebody that he sleeps with who's a journalist. And she goes to what seems like antebellum Georgia.
Mr. Zupan, you have never sought publicity before. So why have you contacted the press?
Oh no, it's Joe Plato! Ah! With sprayed gray hair!
Holy shit!
Be a fair and non-exploitive member of
He's playing an old man!
what
That's amazing.
Wow. Oh no,
He's walking.
He's got like a little limp and everything.
Oh my God. Joe Pilato, who
of Day of the Dead
fame.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time.
Joe Pilato's hair is sprayed gray, and he's doing a little old man walk.
It's so preposterous.
It's the most adorable thing. This entire movie I would describe as adorable. Everything about it, you just go, aww.
But what you don't know is that one of those murdered girls was my daughter.
Oh, Mr. Zupan, I am so sorry.
Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Can you help me? I forgot my clothes.
Terry, get away from her!
Oh. Wow.
What? Oh my God, Joe Pilato! What a twist!
Why is he here now?
What?
Because they killed his daughter, remember?
Well, sure. Why is it there? And how did he know about any of this? What? Don't eat Joe Pilato!
First.
Joe Pilato has spent his life, ever since his daughter 20 years ago was killed in the sacrifice, researching the Satanic cult, so he knows where the cave entrance to hell is.
Well, that's a real shame that he spent so much of his life devoted this to immediately get ripped in half.
Yeah.
Again.
No!
What about his wife?
That poor woman!
Oh my God, there's a rainbow!
Ron Swanson didn't care. He forgot all about his wife because now he's got a hot 20-year-old.
You're talking about his son?
20 years.
What? What?
Yeah.
I wanted to say there's more dicks in Mad Foxes than Wrigley Field. Rich likes those jokes. Rich appreciates a good.
Fan of the baseball jokes.
Rich likes the Sox, the White Sox. But we both appreciate a good Cubs joke.
We're gonna have to have, after the credits of this episode, like a in memoriam of Rich Evans. Died of a Tums overdose.
He's just like foaming at the mouth.
Cause of death, Tums Festival.
It's an official thing on the coroner's report. Jesus Christ, this guy died of Tums Festival.
doing the autopsy. Jesus Christ, it's like a Tums Festival in here.
That's what I just said.
We put a litmus strip in there and it just vanished.
It's just eating.
We could use this. This body is so base. We could use it to counteract the xenomorph.
You'd be bred to fight aliens.
Clones. Rich Evans clones. Rich Evans versus Alien. It's the new Ridley Scott film. It's what he's building towards.
You'd grab an alien and squeeze it, and all its blood would come out, and it'd be like. It would just foaming. It would just foam.
Foaming Tums out of your mouth. All these pastel
just
colors.
Rip aliens apart. Nothing to him. I'm so filled with Tums! And just keep eating Tums.
He's going out of control. He stopped the xenomorphs, but we can't stop him from eating Tums.
Projectile foam at the aliens.
In wonderful pastel colors.
Oh, man.
Oh. Every day ends with a Tums festival. Every day ends with a Tums festival. Every day ends with a Tums festival.
Enough! I get the point.